By the way, side note, because you know, like Red Bull, she's got wings. In case you didn't know, she's got wings. Fly away. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the HonestLee Show, and today we have a very special guest. She is a B-girl from San Diego. She's only 16 but taking the world by storm. Her name is Logan, but she also goes by
B-girl Logistx.
Also, she is representing Underground Flow and Red Bull. Guys, yes, I did say Red Bull. That is so cool. But not only is she representing those, she is the Season 2 World of Dance Champion with the Loud. What? How did we get you here? I don't even know how we got you here. So cool.
I love World of Dance.
Yeah.
Yo, just watch her stuff.
Yeah, so our first video of the day is going to be Logan because she is awesome. Show it to me. Dang! Oh.
Dude, the last time I did that, I landed on my neck.
Oh.
That's I haven't done it since maybe 2 years ago.
Okay, when you learn new skills, because obviously you break on the ground, like the hard ground,
Yeah.
right? So, do you always like learn it on the like a gymnastics floor
No,
first?
so most of the time I learn moves on the hard ground because that's how we do. That's like what the flow that we dance on.
Right.
But if it's a really scary or difficult move, then it helps to learn it on a softer floor.
I'm bony. So like the hard ground just sounds like it hurts.
Yeah,
You can
well,
never
there's a
do
lot of
parkour.
spin
No.
moves. It's not as like, I would say there's not as much like air stuff as like gymnastics. There's a lot of, flips. But this stuff, it's still grounded. Like there's a lot of spins. There's some air power, but there's not really that many flips involved.
What is that? What is this move called? The move we just watched?
The one we just watched is called Air Flare 1.5. Because I
Sounds
do
so
air
intense.
It does. It's like she's about to go to like battle.
Guys, I'm about to break out my some 1.5.
Air flare 1.5.
Air Flare 1.5.
It's
Can you
intense.
imagine like your Chanko 2.0?
That would sound cooler.
It
though.
would sound cooler.
Besides your Chanko double, your Chanko 2.0.
What is that? Is that one on vault?
Vault, yeah. Good.
Dude,
So,
I was starting to learn those before I quit.
So she was a gymnast. We knew of her. JaNay met her.
Yeah, so she went to UCLA Gymnastics Summer Camp back when you were 9.
Yes.
So that was my first year, I believe. So I was a freshman. And so she came in, I think you were level 6 at the time. And there's a certain day where like after all the practices, because I swear we had like 3 different training sessions during camp, but we'll have like a dance party. There just came a point where we like all circled around her because she was also really, really good at dancing. Like she's amazing at dancing. So we all ended up watching her because she had this whole routine or just whatever. You were freestyling, I think.
Yeah.
But it was so cool. But so you basically were doing gymnastics and dance at the same time, or did you think that, or were you doing gym to help you with dance?
So I started gymnastics to help me with dance, and then I got into it and I fell in love with both. Yeah, and so for a while I was balancing both, and then at one point I had to choose one because I was getting super busy.
Yeah.
So the camp was like right before I quit gymnastics.
We all loved her. Oh my gosh, it was incredible. It's just like, oh, and you could just tell like, oh well, she's really advanced at dancing. Like this is something she's gonna go far, and she really has gone so far. And that's amazing that gymnastics helped you, because I mean, what they do or what you guys do is so athletic. Like,
Yeah, no, seriously.
Both.
Are there other B-girls who are just as young? Are you the youngest?
No, there's a lot, like especially I'd say in Japan and Europe. There's a lot of young B-girls. There's not a lot of B-girls in the US.
Okay.
she's a rare one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot in Japan, and they do like crazy power moves. And then in Europe, the young B-girls do a lot of flexible, like bridge stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, so the styles vary depending on like where people live in the world.
So when you're learning new skills, is there like a skill book, or is it just people make stuff up and you kind of just copy them, or
This
do you
is
like?
way less organized than gymnastics.
It's like you make up your own skills, or how do you know what to learn next?
So there's a foundation basically. There's
Okay.
basic power moves. So I'd say like basic power moves would be like backspins, windmills, flares, swipes. There's different categories, so kind of like how you have vault and bars and floor and all that stuff. We have top rocks, go down, footwork, freezes, and power moves.
I know freezes.
Same.
And then you just kind of learn the basics of each. And there's like a certain foundation. It's not too specific. There's like a certain foundation with each. And then from there, we're encouraged to create our own moves based on, or to build from that foundation.
Gotcha.
And that is why I think a lot of people still don't consider it a sport. Because
it's very artistic?
Yeah, you
Okay.
kind of make it your own, but everyone has a different mentality, so.
So when you're doing battles and stuff, is it all freestyle or do you kind of plan out a routine?
Personally, when I battle, I have not a choreographed routine, but I have like maybe 3 combos or moves that I feel like I want to do. The other part is just allowing the music to like just feeling the music and kind of freestyling through it, but have some type of plan just so I don't repeat moves. Because if I freestyle each time, a lot of the time people find themselves repeating moves, and that's like a deduction from like the judges.
Oh, when you're freestyling, because you say you don't want to repeat moves, how long are these?
It's like however long we want, but
What? Is it really?
Yeah.
Like you don't have like a, it's like not like
There's
1
no-
minute and 1 minute.
Okay, so
and
it's like
1
an
minute?
average.
there's
then.
no time limit except open style battles. They have time limits because in open style battles people tend to go on and on and on. Versus breaking, it's more energy consuming and physical, and people tend to have shorter rounds, so maybe 45-second rounds. But there's no limit to the round.
Gotcha.
Wow, it's so creative. Like I'm just picturing you learned the basics on beam. Now do whatever you want. Like, that would be so interesting. Like, okay, you now know a handstand for bars in giants. Do what you want.
Do what you want with it.
Yeah.
Like it's so different.
I like the freedom of it though.
Yeah, I do too.
Definitely, because you can let your creativity flow.
Do you ever get nervous that like what you're doing looks out there or not accepted yet? Because it's a very judgmental thing.
Yeah, it can be very judgmental because people have different opinions and people have their
Right.
own opinion. But I think the cool part about it is that we can be ourselves, and that's the whole point, is everyone looking different because no one wants to look the same.
That's true.
It being that type of culture, people want to look different, and style and originality is a huge thing. Yeah, it's super important. Like I always hear all my mentors are like, originality is key, make sure you have style. The difference is the highlight of the culture.
Because like I feel like when I'm in a dance class, I'm like I look like an idiot, and like I can't feel the music because I'm just like I just look like an idiot. It's interesting because every time you go and break, you have to come up with something like new every single time, but like on the spot, kind of.
Yeah, that's like just freestyling, whether it's breaking or other types of dance. I'd say freestyle, you just create everything on the spot.
That's
Because-
what I want to learn how to do. What's the word? Improv. Improv.
Yeah.
is
Oh, yeah.
very hard for me, at least, to do.
No, it is still hard for me, but it's something I worked on a lot like the past 2 years because I noticed it was like a weakness of mine. And then as I was practicing just like freestyle more and more and more, it's kind of like a muscle. You just train it, get stronger and stronger. And now I feel like I could put on music and just dance to it how I want. And a lot of it is actually mental. It's like accepting what I do in the moment instead of like being judgmental of it.
And kind of just go for it.
Yeah, just like go and like not really care.
So when you train, do you put on like different music every time and you kind of record yourself and then see how it is?
Yeah, when I train for freestyling, I just put different music on, I record myself, and then I could watch after. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I could do that different, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, that's dope. It's different every time, but I have a mentor to help. Like he also, since both of us travel, and if we're both on in LA, I just send him my videos, and then he will like give me critiques because he's been in the game for a really long time, so he helps, and he knows like the foundation, and he has a lot of knowledge, so he'll just help me with that stuff.
So
Gotta love the
interesting.
mentors.
I do too.
You should have her mentality with when you take dance classes. Just go for it.
I know, I
I
should.
don't really care.
You know, I'll try it next time. I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah.
I want to talk about recovery because what you guys do is very strenuous on the body. And I think it's a sport. There's been times when I've seen you ice bathing and we all bonded on how we don't like doing it.
Yeah.
Because you're like putting your mind in such a stressful state because it's the worst.
It's like anxiety.
The worst.
You take like 10 minutes just to get in there.
Yeah.
Like, no. And then you're like, I can't do it. And then you put your foot in again.
Yeah. Homegirl goes to the neck, which
Used to. Not anymore. I mean, I do cryo sometimes.
Cryo's good.
Cryo's really good. Ice, I cannot do ice anymore. Like,
maybe you were just talking about recovery was really, really important, but I think you said that helped you. Did it?
I think that if
Did it help me or did I get scarred from it?
honestly, there is nothing from ice baths that I remember. Oh, I'm trying to think. Is there any? Did it really help? It did not, because the thing is, it was during the TV show, and we were dancing all day, every day. No, like even sleep, we didn't get enough sleep, so we didn't get enough like rest time. And I think if you do something like an ice bath and then you don't allow yourself to rest and allow it to like actually, you know,
like
the
do
benefits,
its job.
Yeah, then you're not gonna feel like the benefits. So I didn't get any like.
That's a good pointer. So guys,
That is,
if you think about ice bathing or doing anything, make sure you actually give yourself recovery time because that's not.
Let's just kind of like
not a quick fix.
It's kind of like cupping. Like you need to drink lots of liquids after cupping, and you need to flush it out. It's like you can't just be like, boop, and then like,
okay, should feel better.
There are no quick fix recovery things. Like, you have to allow it time for like your body to, you know, do its job, and like that's why you need the recovery time.
I think that's important to say too, because I feel that I don't want to say it's a trend, but people look for the quickest things to do stuff. Just in anything.
That's
so when it comes to recovery and taking care of your body, that's something you shouldn't rush or think that there's a quick fix for it.
So I want you to walk us through the breaking world. Like, how does it work? You kind of went over the battles a little bit. Kind of just a general, like,
for people that don't know, or like me.
Okay, so breaking is actually one of the 4 elements of hip hop, and the 4 elements are DJing, MC, graffiti, and breaking.
I did not know that there were 4 elements.
I didn't know hip hop like included DJing, graffiti.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
DJing, MCing, graffiti, and breaking. There's actually more now. I think they include like fashion and some, I don't know, other things, but those are the 4 fundamental elements of hip hop, and breaking is one of them. I was born in the 70s in the Bronx, New York, from African Americans and Latinos. And it was like mainly males. It was in a block party. And then people just like started like dancing, you know, like at a party, normal dancing. And then there was this section in the music called the break. And it was mainly consisted of drum beats. And then some dancers just started like dancing more like closer to the ground, like doing like crazy stuff.
So interesting.
No one knows who the first person to do it, but they just started calling it like, oh, those are the break boys, and those are the Bronx boys. And it turned into breaking, and then when it came to mainstream media, they called it break dancing. And so that's like a short history. One of the main things we do in the scene is battle, and so you could go to a jam and enter a battle. You could do 1v1s, 2v2s. Sometimes they have like full-on crews, like 10 versus 10s.
Whoa.
It depends. Like you could literally do whatever you want. That's the battle, and the other part is the cipher. And those are like circles of people, kind of like when you were saying when everyone circled around me at the gym. It's like that, but everyone who's standing is also wants to get in the circle and dance. So you just take turns in the middle of the circle, and that's just like very spontaneous. It's like if you're feeling it, you're feeling it. If you're not, you could go to the other cipher. And that one's more organic. That's a huge part. I'd say music is a very huge part. A lot of it came from like funk music, so like James Brown. Now they're mixing a lot of hip hop and like the jazzy hip hop, kind of like Tribe Called Quest, like that kind of stuff. But the range is definitely more like funk, soul, and some African beats, and also hip hop music.
What is your biggest dream in breakdancing? Because like in gymnastics, we have like the Olympics. And I feel like in breakdancing, it's so artistic and like creative that I'm curious as to if like there's one big like goal that you guys are reaching for, or is it more of like a personal thing?
Oh, it's definitely a personal thing. Everyone has a different goal. So some people come into breaking when they're like 30 years old and they just want to do it for fun and want to do it for exercise. Versus there's kids my age who come into it at like 15 years old or 16 years old, and they want to go to the Olympics in Paris 2024, And then some have been doing it for a while and they're here to like educate and spread their knowledge of experience. So it really depends on the person. But for me, I mean, my goal is always changing as I'm growing. But one of them has always been to compete at the Red Bull BC1 World Final. And I did that last year and I did really bad.
You need redemption.
No, I really do. I want to go back this year because I did it last year. And the thing is, the expectations were so high for me because I beat the prior B-Girl champion. And so everyone was like, oh, Logistx going to win, Logistx going to win. And then I went there and it was, we started in the top 16. And I lost in the first battle, and I was so like, oh, it was one of those like life-changing moments for me because that was just a dream of mine since I was like 9 years old. And I've always wanted to go and I wanted to win so bad. But I learned that like it's not about winning. It's not about like, for me personally, that the process means more to me than the destination. And that failure isn't really that bad. I was very devastated after that experience, but after a lot of like reflecting and like talking with like friends, I learned a lot. So I'm actually really grateful that I didn't win, but I want to go back and like smoke some people.
Smoke some people.
Like in battling, they get like, it's like...
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, what's your mindset before you go battle? And if it's different, if it's like group or one-on-one. No, you say 1v1, 2v2.
We're gonna get
You
lingo.
could say one-on-one or 1v1.
Okay, cool.
1v1 is cooler.
So when I do solo battles, I am definitely more serious than when I go into like 2 versus 2 or 3v3 or crew battles because I'm the only one that's competing and I'm representing just myself. You need more rounds for solo battles versus like if it's 2v2, you take turns so you don't have to do as many rounds.
Okay.
So definitely take it more serious. So normally when you go to an event, they have an open bracket, meaning boys and girls. And then they have a separate B-girl bracket with just girls.
Do you battle against guys too?
Yes.
Whoa.
So that's the a lot of people, especially girls, like they just do the B-girl battles. But me and I know some other girls, we try to enter the open bracket too because it's just a good challenge and just to represent for the girls because we're B-girl scene is very small. There's not a lot of B-girls compared to guys. So
Remember, she's a gem.
Yeah. Diamond in the rough.
It's very male dominated, but there's been this huge growth in the amount of B-girls. Crew battles, like say like 10 versus 10, that one is just about more feeling the vibe for me personally.
I love hearing how people just have different ways of focusing.
You know, we come from a very structured background, but like even like breakdancing and the stuff you're doing is still very athletic. So, and you're also competing, but just in a different way. So it's so neat to like listen and understand like what your mindset is going in. Because I think we're taught a mindset and like you kind of teach yourself a mindset.
Yeah, it's very, also because it's not as developed as gymnastics. I remember we were saying in the car how gymnastics was like started in what?
Oh yeah.
BC?
Some
in the nude.
What is it? Ancient Greece? Or
and it was done in the nude, guys.
On real horses.
Can you imagine? Like if you want to do gymnastics, you have to be nude. Sorry. How did you get Logistx? It's funny because I thought it was Logistx.
Oh, are you serious? That's so funny.
Guys, again, I really think outside the box here. Anywho, so how did you get Logistx? And does every breakdancer have a name?
Yeah, so every B-boy and B-girl has their own name, kind of like a stage name. Some people use their own name, but some like to make nicknames. And mine, Logistx, I got that when I was like 7 years old from my dad. Because whenever I did anything, I always need like a plan when I go into
That's JaNay.
That's so me.
just so like logical and just so I'm definitely trying to balance that out with like the other like less planned. Yeah, when I first got that name, my dad felt like I was just too organized all the time and needed a plan. And
That's JaNay.
that's how I
My
got it.
goodness.
Oh, and it sounds like, I mean, it's kind of spelled like Logan with the first.
Logistx. We need names.
Oh,
I'll be Peng-Sticks.
Oh gosh.
Big girl Peng sticks.
Hangers.
Peng
No, I need something like if I'm gonna go to with a Z. With a Z.
Here we go.
What are you?
I don't know.
Nene.
Honestly,
Nene's cute.
You'll just be like, oh, she's going.
oh, that's like my mentor. Her name's Valor, but her big girl name is Valpal. It's not, but I remember her saying that when she first got it, like, it's kind of like to psych the other person out so that they think it's not intimidating, so when she goes to battle them...
Actually, that's crazy, because that's what I was thinking, so...
I told JaNay, I was like, I just want to enter a battle once, just to say I did it.
I was like,
Jay, we should just enter a battle, even though we have no experience, but just because, like, we'll probably lose, but it's fine.
How we talked about we like having a plan that, like,
oh yeah,
terrifies me.
No, that's the same. That's why, like, okay, so that's one reason actually why I love breaking is because it's scary. It's really scary.
Yeah,
like,
Jay.
How I got into dancing is I didn't even want to start dancing. My dad tricked me into getting it. I just did like drawing and singing by myself, and he was like, "Do you want to try hip-hop dance?" And I was like, "No."
I was hoodwinked into
And then
dancing.
I thought I was gonna go to drawing class, and then he opens the door, and it's a bunch of kids dancing.
Oh, he really tricked you then.
Yeah, he did. And then I went inside, and then I was like, "What is this? What's going on?" And it was really scary. But the thing is, like, once they turned on the music and I started dancing, it just felt like really fun, like thrilling, like
Yeah.
So that's, I think, one of the biggest reasons why I love breaking, because it's kind of scary.
All right, y'all, we are about to answer your questions that you asked Logistx.
Yes, and if you want to do a video question, make sure to email us thehonestleeshow@gmail.com. You can also tag us and ask us your questions, but make sure to follow us because we do questions kind of at random.
Hey Peng and JaNay, it's Anna. Just want to say how proud I am of you guys for creating this platform for athletes to come together and to share their stories. HonestLee show is really, really cool to see different athletes, especially Logan. I've been a huge follower of you for a couple years now, and it's been really cool to see your creativity shine through your work. And I just wanted to ask, what inspires you to dance?
What inspires me? Whoa. Okay. So, I feel like inspiration can be pulled from like many different things. A lot of the time I'm inspired by other artists in and outside of dance. So within dance, there are obviously like my favorites. There's this dude named Cloud. Daniel Cloud Campos. He started off in the battle scene as b-boy, but now he does like he directs a lot of music videos.
Oh, cool.
And he also does music. So I'm very inspired by artists that don't limit themselves to just one craft.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
And this is gonna sound a little weird, but I love like philosophy and psychology.
That's cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
Like Alan Watts, the dude. He is a British philosopher who brought Eastern philosophy into like Western side, and he talks a lot about like Buddhism and things like that. But I take a lot of inspiration from that because I think like if we better ourselves as a human, at least for me, I find myself it's a little bit easier to do stuff like in dance if I can like better myself as a human first and then translate that stuff within my art or whatever I'm doing. Then,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how
I can't stop smiling.
I know.
She's so white, so cute, and just so inspirational.
And so mature. Just
I
all the
know.
answers she's given. Like, I forget what she answered before, but I'm like, that's amazing that you know that at your age.
But it's so cool, like just everything that you're very open-minded. So that's what's amazing too, because I feel like, when you're younger, it's really scary to be open-minded.
Yeah.
Because you just, you have
Go with what you know.
Yeah, like I have so much respect for dancers and breakers just because they're so open-minded. I feel like to like try the new things, to be open to the art of hip hop and or the graffiti part.
I think as an artist, to be open-minded is really important, because that's how you like expand your artistry and like get new tools and learn new things and grow as an artist. So I think artists are very open-minded.
I feel in the end it would be beneficial for you guys too to be
Yeah.
open-minded.
Yeah.
So, Logan, Elena Storres asked, when did you start dancing? What age?
I started dancing when I was 8 years old, and that was in 2011.
Oh my gosh. I feel so old. What year were you born?
2003.
Jesus. Oscar.breaks asks, how to balance school and dance and still manage to progress substantially in both aspects, with a freezing emoji.
It's kind of like when you balance anything, you just maximize your time. Time management is so huge. And
Say that again.
Yeah. Right?
and not procrastinating, and I'm so used to multitasking, it's kind of bad. And yeah, just being I think in the end it comes down to being driven too, just wanting to do both and wanting to succeed in both, and then doing everything I possibly can to reach the goals in both areas. So yeah, it's a lot of multitasking, a lot of taking advantage of time in the car, time on the plane, waking up earlier if I need to. Yeah.
YX Deanna, I was gonna be like, Deanna. Like as creative as possible. Have you thought of quitting dance, and how did you keep it going?
So I've never thought of quitting dance, but I did take a 2-year break from breaking. And I think I was like 12 when I took that break. So I was still training on my own, but I wasn't involved in the scene because I feel like it was like almost like a burnout, but I was young. It was weird. Like I would battle every single weekend and train. And I was
that's
young.
a lot.
Yeah, and I would train at the same time. So I think at a young age I started to not enjoy it as much. And I felt, for me, this is something that's actually very common with, I think, young athletes, is at times I felt like I wasn't doing it for myself, but I was doing it for other people. And then that's when I was like, oh, this isn't fun, and like I felt like I needed to like prove something to other people, when in actuality I did not need to do any of that. And so I wanted to enjoy what I was doing, and then I like told my dad, like, look, I'm not really enjoying it, I think I need to take a break. And then that's when I did more choreo. And that's when I really fell in love with like the urban dance community, with Kinjaz.
Just ignore me.
So funny.
And I've been saying it. Like, I've been telling people, wow, that Kinjaz is so amazing. No one has
Probably
corrected
looking at me like,
No one has
like,
corrected
oh,
me.
she don't even know. You gonna tell her no? Okay, cool. What would you say to people that are younger people that are maybe experiencing burnout, because it happens a lot and very often from your experience?
From my experience, I would say make sure you're doing it for yourself and not for anyone else. Unless you absolutely know that it's your passion and that you're using it to want to inspire others. I think that's the only reason I would do it for others, is to want to inspire others, rather than doing it because someone told me to, or because I feel like it'll make this person happy. Like, you have to do it because you really love it. And know that it's okay to do it for fun too. Like, you don't have to take it seriously. I think at a young age I felt like I needed to like be at this like high in the skill, you know? And then I realized like, I was like 11 years old? Like, I could be doing this like just for fun, you know? And then as I started to do it for fun, I fell back in love with breaking. And then now I genuinely enjoy doing it seriously because I, want to. But I had to take the time to realize that I do enjoy it and I do love it. So.
Alright, let's put on our gear. Alright, Logan, we are going to play Let's Be Honest. Every time you answer a question, you have to go,
yeah. Okay.
First thing you do when you get up in the morning.
I listen to a motivational 5-minute video.
Oh, cool!
I love the flex. It makes it sound.
This is a good friend. He goes,
Okay, what is your favorite song to sing?
Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys. Anything Alicia Keys.
Yeah. What's your biggest pet peeve?
Chewing gum like a horse. Hate that. So annoying.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to start breaking?
Connect with your local community if you have one, or make sure you learn the history and the foundation.
Who is your biggest inspiration?
Right now, my biggest inspiration is Daniel Claude Campos.
Oh yeah!
Describe yourself in 3 words.
Insightful, hardworking, I don't know, and insightful, hardworking, creative.
Favorite vegan dish to cook?
I like vegan curry.
You might want to pass over that recipe. Who is your favorite breakdancer right now?
Ooh, right now, B-Boy Supreme from Holland.
Ooh.
I think he's from
said
Holland.
Holland.
He's a Dutch one?
If he's not from Holland, he's definitely from Europe.
Europe, okay.
Is there a favorite skill you wish you could do or have been wanting to learn?
I want to get windmill air flare. I really want to get windmill air flare. So it's where I go from, like, I guess my back all the way up to all the way up to handstand, and then I do an air flare or a 90 as long as I go from like down
The ground up?
to up. I really want to get that.
Which sport do you not understand? Or is there a sport?
What's it called? The one that's like
What's it called?
where you got like 2 little things on the ground and then it's like
Croquet?
no.
Is it a winter sport?
I think so.
Is it curling?
Curling, I don't understand it. I'm like,
Curling's like my favorite to watch. Because it's so intense and they like push things so slow.
What's your biggest, wildest dream?
biggest, wildest dream is to fly to the moon.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Okay, if you had to eat a food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Acai bowls.
What did you say?
Acai bowls.
Well, she knew right away. I was so
What is
fast. I was like, acai bowls.
Acai bowls. I could not hear. I was like, decidable?
That's why I was like, what did you say?
Uncrustables? I thought you said Uncrustables.
If you only had to do one breaking dance move for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Top rocks.
What are top rocks?
Where you're just dancing up top.
Who's the coolest person you've worked with?
Ellen. Ellen
That's so
DeGeneres.
Ellen DeGeneres.
Favorite place to eat?
Ooh, any acai bowl place.
Who was your first crush?
I don't remember.
Bye bye crush.
Bye bye crush. Favorite place to travel to?
Ooh, so far, India.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
I do want to go to India. Favorite sport to watch?
If it's not breaking, I'd say gymnastics.
Oh, yeah! The scariest thing you've ever done?
Ooh, the first time I battled.
Ooh.
The first time, I mean now it's fine, but the first time battled, that was scary.
What's the weirdest thing you've eaten?
Frog legs before I went vegan.
Ooh, was it
Frog
good?
It tasted just like chicken.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like your alligator. The weirdest thing for me was a chocolate covered scorpion.
Mine's alligator. Okay, last question. Someone you've never worked with but really want to.
Ooh, Jim Carrey.
Ooh.
Jim Carrey. That's a good one.
All right, Jim Carrey, if you're out there,
Oh my God.
Logistx
These flags.
wants to work with you. Okay, guys, thank you again for watching another episode of Honestly Logan. Thanks for being on our show.
Thank you.
Make sure to keep an eye out for her. She is taking the world by a storm. I'm sure there's gonna be so many other cool things that are lined up for her. But if you like this episode, make sure to press the like button. Don't forget to comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell button. And
We will see you next time on the HonestLee Show.
bye!
I get this weird feeling every time before we start. I don't know what it is. Because I'm very like...
Okay.
The amount of B-girls. And wait, what was the question? Oh, focusing on 1v1.
What is it? The one?
Underground flow. And
Underground flow.
flow.
Did I get it? I did get it.
Did you get it?
I did get it.
Flares, backspins, windmills, swipes.
Is that Kenny?
It's perfect.
Kenny, you're what? Because I wanted him to fix the fireplace, but I didn't like expect you to come like now. This is my old roommate, Kenny.
Kenny, wait, you gotta show yourself so they know. Right here. Plant it right here. Come on.
Hello.
I really don't want to do this.
So this is the individual that just interrupted our session, but it's okay. He's
my old roommate. You might have recognized him from some of my vlogs. There you go.
He's not fixing it now, is he?
Yeah, I'm going to.
Well, you better be quiet.
I know.
We were like,
I was like, who is at the door? Oh my god. So when you're doing like...
Nice.
Interesting.
how long are these, I don't want to say segments. Sorry. When you're freestyling, you can just let your creativity flow. Whoa! Like,
After that, it feels like it's just a blank, like almost like not a warm blanket, like really, like your body feels numb.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's fine. It's kind of fine. And then you get it out, and then your skin is like red, and yeah, that's bad. Wait, what part of Canada?
Toronto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to Calgary.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Calgary's, it's pretty cold there.
I know.
When are you going?
Well, at least it'll be snowing. The mountains
Dude, I've never
are pretty.
seen snow ever.
What?
Really?
You're like, oh my god, it's so pretty.
Yeah,
I'm so
that was.
excited.
I
If it was in the car you're talking, I don't want to like restate. What was it? Ninjas, but like kin like brotherhood, and then ninjas.
I thought it was Kinjas this whole time.
It's funny because Logan goes,
Kinjas.
say it again.
Competitive b-boys and b-girls who are trying to make a living off of breaking. And when there's this organization called UDEF, the Urban Dance Education. No. So I'm not gonna say it because I'm terrible. All the way up to
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching another episode of HonestLee. Make sure to check us out, but... Okay. Okay guys, thank you for watching another episode with Logan. Wait, what? Okay guys, make sure to keep an eye out her...
competitive b-boys and b-girls who are trying to make a living off of breaking. And when there's this organization called UDEF, the Urban Dance Education. No. So I'm not gonna say it because I'm terrible. UDEF. When UDEF started, b-boys and b-girls who were battling in the events that they would throw, they would get paid to battle. So even if they didn't win, like if you get like top 4, top 8, top 16, like you still get paid if you make it like, past prelims. So yeah, and so there's a lot of changes that have been made so that b-boys and b-girls can make more money off of battling, because it wasn't really you couldn't really make a living out of breaking before, and it's still hard now as a b-boy and b-girl, and even as dancers too. But yeah, and especially with the Olympics coming up, I think it'll get better.
That's cool.